A very good morning to you all, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you're all doing very well indeed. And you may notice you're back on my favourite tree, because today I want to talk about something that's really bugging me. Yeah, I feel I need to address on this channel the enormous quantity of bugs that are currently in Pokemon Go, some of which have been in the game now for many weeks, even many months, and little to no update has been given from the good old people over at Niantic support. So we're going to dive into them now, and then I want to give my take on what I think that they should do for the month of May. I know that quite a few people have commented on this, and it is probably the most prevalent bug, or lack thereof, because they've taken the feature away. It is Team Rocket. Team Go Rocket has been out of the game now for about 2 weeks. It's been absent for so long, and the major issue with this is the fact that it was one of those functions in the game that was constant, because they added the balloons in a long while ago, which meant that even if you had no Pokestops around, you had access to the feature. Also, it is a fundamental part in leveling up to level 50. You are required to battle, basically the whole challenges for level 45 revolve around Team Rocket, and the fact that you can't do it means that people are stuck on level 44, which means that people who could have probably leveled up 2 or 3 times by now are stuck currently where they are, which is directly impacting their gameplay. It's also required for the level 50 tasks, so people who are stuck on level 49 can't get to level 50 because of this impacted feature. It's been out of the game. People have been asking about this, people have been commenting about it in other videos and things like that, and there is no news on it whatsoever. Niantic are just saying we're investigating it, which isn't really good enough for a core function of the game being removed for 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a long time in Pokemon Go, to be honest. I'm frankly flabbergasted that they think that that's acceptable. Just at least say, like, you know, we're encountering more issues than we first thought. From what I can tell on their known issues page, it would occasionally crash the game if you tried to encounter a Team Rocket grunt or leader. And it didn't specify what operating software. It was purely just a random sort of, oh, it will crash the game. From my experience, I've never had that. A lot of my friends who I've talked to have never had that. A lot of people in my Discord have never had that. I've barely seen it on social media, and that covers Android, Google, iOS, everything. If you were impacted by this issue, please let me know in the comments, because I've very much struggled to find anybody who was actually struggling to encounter Team Rocket grunts at this time. It seems that they've taken this feature away with very little reasoning from what I can see. Because of that, I'm going to say, why are they taking the feature away for everybody? They've never done this before, as far as I'm aware. They've always sort of left the feature in the game because the majority of players could actually use the feature. Very select few, if at all any, couldn't. So why not work on a fix for those people who are maybe on different operating softwares, maybe on older devices that are encountering issues? Work out what the problem is, rather than taking the feature away for everybody, and now people are very, very annoyed and bored by it. Yeah, I don't think that's the best solution. On the note of what they should do about it, however long it's going to take them to fix it, every 42 hours that it's offline, they should compensate with a rocket radar. If you think it takes 6 balloons, which is 36 hours if you get every single one throughout the day, the midnight, the 6 AM, the 12 noon and the 6 PM balloons, and you get every single balloon, it takes you 36 hours to get 6 components, and then the 7th balloon is a leader. So every 42 hours that goes by, and you have to say the balloons is the bog standard. I know people could argue and say, I visit Pokestops, I visit loads of Pokestops, I live on a freaking multitude of Pokestops, but even I'm not going to say that I do 20 leaders a day because of how I play the game. No, take it down to the most basic functional level of that aspect of the game, and the consistent thing is the balloons. The balloons are accessible to anybody and everyone. Every 42 hours is offline. Niantic, you should compensate every single player with a rocket radar. I think we're up to about 6 now in that equation. The more time it's offline, the more rocket radars they need to add to the makeup items, makeup box, whatever they do. It's such a core aspect of the game, hunting for shadow shinies, leveling up, Stardust, shadow grinding Pokemon. You know, it's so major, and it's been offline for so long, it's kind of nuts. Anyway, I'm hoping that's the longest rant. Next up is the XP friendship issue, and this This has been active now for about 10 days or so, possibly a little bit longer. This directly impacted me and Casual Coops because we hit best friends, and it's a notification issue. The notification of you hitting a level of friendship doesn't come through on time. It is delayed, sometimes by multiple days. No joking, multiple days to go by, and sometimes you don't get your notification. I was fortunate in the sense that I reset my game. I got my XP about 25 minutes late. Coops got his like 8 to 10 hours later, which is just bonkers. Again, with their Niantic support on Twitter, they don't seem to be addressing what is causing the issue. They just say, oh, we're sorry to hear that, we're working on it. Well, that's great. You could keep saying that for 6 years, you know, it's still not going to fix anything. You need to be more transparent with these issues and what is actually going on behind the scenes, because us as players, we just know that there's this feature, and we know that you take your time, Niantic, you take your time in fixing things. So we don't know how long this is going to go, and this again directly impacts anybody who's leveling up. Even people who are over level 50 want to get extra XP, and the friendship bonus is so vast because it's such a huge amount of XP in one dose that is worth putting a lucky egg on just for ultra and best friends. Even if it's one person, you can stack them up and stuff. I've seen people losing millions of XP because they've done lucky egg, opened all their gifts for people to just sync up with best friends and ultra friends, and the XP hasn't come through. Niantic have said they can't compensate with XP, but they bloody well should. They bloody well should. Anybody who has lost XP due to this glitch, you need to get on Twitter and go through the in-game support and bombard Niantic, because if enough people get on their back about it, I think they will eventually compensate with the amount of XP that you've lost. Because they can see in the game code, they can obviously see what you've done. You know, it's mad to me. Now we're going to get into some of the smaller issues, which having looked on their known issues page, sort of came to light. I was like, okay, some of these are very weird. Players who joined in 2017 can't access the referral system or the referral rewards. That to me is mad. Why is it players from 2017 can't access this feature? If that's a known issue, obviously I'm just reading it off of their known issue page. How do you code a game that alienates 1 year of 5 years of players? That makes no sense to me. This next one I have seen actual evidence of in my local groups, is that when you level up, I got to level 50 before they added this feature in, you get a level up screen which shows your stats, which I think is really cool, nice little aesthetic touch. However, it shows incorrect stats. And just to put this into context, a friend of mine who I know who's done thousands and thousands of raids, when he leveled up, it said he'd done one raid battle. It is trivial, but it's totally ridiculous. How do you code it in that bad of a way that it goes out to the public, generating incorrect stats? That's mind-boggling. These next three are not on their known issues page, but they're issues that we know are in the game. I've experienced myself, so we're going to jump into those. Pokemon disappearing. Now, I've seen this on multiple spotlight hours and multiple times when I'm out grinding an event or something. You go to click on a Pokemon and you click it, and then all Pokemon just disappear from the map. All of them, except for Incensed spawns. It will clear the map of all Pokemon. It will take several minutes for them to all reload. Now, I feel that that's a server-side thing, being very slow. I'm not a techie person, to be honest. How does that function? How does that come about? I don't get it. They haven't acknowledged that this is a bug, but believe me, it is. It is definitely a bug, because it's happened multiple times to me. I've heard other people complain about it in my local groups. Very annoying when it's spotlight hour and you're trying to quick catch everything, and then you click a Pokemon and everything disappears and you have to wait 3 minutes. Wayfarer, I believe it's Wayfarer, there is a Pokestop nomination kind of system. Apparently, when you go to submit an area or a Pokestop or something, there's no confirmation button. There's no approve, like, yes, hit that button, it could put it through into the system. It just doesn't exist. People can't actually submit things at the moment. Not registered on their system as a known issue, so that's quite astonishing. And their responses on their Niantic support Twitter are less than encouraging as per standard. This is the final major one, and this has been in the game for months. I think, you know, maybe 8 months, maybe a little bit less. The sticky ball glitch. And I have a real concern that this is going to be like the old days where you used to have 2 things in raid system. The last ball glitch, whereby no matter what you did, the last ball, your last premier ball catching any Pokemon in the raid system would break out. It was basically like your last ball didn't count. Also in the olden days, the raid dodge system didn't work. You would dodge and it just wouldn't count it. It wouldn't register that you dodged at all. And it took them 2 years to fix those. 2 years. It's just mad. That's mad. You think, 2 years, what are you doing? You're just lying on the floor scratching your arse, Niantic. The sticky ball glitch has become extremely prevalent and it's been affecting everybody, and everybody's complained about it. You know, people who maybe are lower level, who struggle to catch legendaries, it stops them catching good Pokemon. It's extremely irritating because it slows down your whole process of catching mostly legendaries, what I found it to, you know, mostly affects on. It's when you go to throw a ball, randomly the ball will sort of stop responding and it will either hover in mid-air, or as you follow through on your throwing motion, it will pause and then try and catch up, and the resulting catch-up, trying to link the ball to where you're actually touching on the screen, means that the ball will just fall on the floor and you just waste a Premier Ball, which, considering you only get a maximum of 21 if you do the most amount of damage, the quickest time, etc. That's not cool. That's not cool at all, Niantic, and you need to A, acknowledge the damn thing, and B, find a bloody fix for it. It's been months now, and I don't know what's taking so freaking long. Look back at the previous game's code, or the previous updates code before that issue was implemented, and look what changed. I mean, I'm not a coding person, I might be talking a load of rubbish, but that's what it seems to me. Now we can jump into the GBL stuff, and I know that a lot of this, to be honest, I'm just reading off of their known issues page. Apparently, your stat buffs and debuffs carry over to another Pokemon. They don't just stick, you know, if you go for a switch in GBL, it usually resets the buffs and debuffs of a Pokemon. Apparently it doesn't, it carries over in some of the circumstances, which is kind of baffling. The unable to find match error. Now I did experience this when I was trying to do my one GBL battle a while ago, and it took like 10 minutes for me to actually get into the system. Really, really irritating, so I hope they find a fix for that soon. Certain scenarios could mean that when you switch, when your current Pokemon in your battle party faints out just as you switch in another Pokemon on your team, they change Pokemon. They become something totally different. I'd love to see that in actual reality. I'm obviously just reading this off of their actual page of known issues, but that's kind of nuts. Fast moves not syncing up, and that is some big delay, because I certainly experienced it when I was doing Team Rocket Grunts, in the sense that you would go to start a Team Rocket battle and the Team Rocket Grunt would get about 4 fast moves off before you'd even be able to attack. And apparently that's in the GBL system as well, so it's a core battle functional issue, not just GBL, it was in Team Rocket stuff as well. That's pretty severe if your opponent can get like multiple fast moves off before you're allowed to even begin. That's pretty major, considering it's a competitive format. Just a few others. The charge attack button being unresponsive and not working. Again, that's kind of major, considering it's a competitive format of battling. The charge attack and switch buttons could disappear on you. How do you code that? How does that go into the game? I don't understand that. That's such a huge aspect of the PvP system. You have to be able to switch Pokemon, you have to be able to use charge attacks. How do they code it so in some circumstances the buttons vanish from the screen? Mad. Those are the known issues. Some of. I'm sure there are more that aren't even on Niantic's radar, which is scary to think of. I want to take you through now what I think they should do for the month of May. Niantic, if you are watching this, stop with the damn multiple events. Seriously, because you are jamming 4 to 6 to 7 day events on us, but not actually, you're adding more issues into the game with every single update, and it's infuriating the players because it's impacting the basic parts of the game itself. Rather than just chucking, oh, here's another event, here's another event, here's another event, why don't you in May just stop? Just have no event running at all. Just say, we admit that the game is vastly broken. More so, I think it's the most broken it's been in 3 and a bit years, to be honest, since 2018 or 2017. I think it's so broken, it's ridiculous. They need to take that month and say, we're going to fix the bugs. We acknowledge all of these, we're going to take the time to work on them. Even if that requires shutting the game down for 3 or 4 days, I wouldn't mind. That's me personally. I know some people may differ. Let me know in the comments if you do disagree with that. If it requires you taking the game offline, freaking do it, because 3 or 4 days in the grand scheme of things for you to work hard and fix things, not pretend you're fixing it and then go, oh, actually we've disabled it in some other way so that now you can't do raid battles without losing 64 Pokemon, it will delete itself. I don't know. I've seen that every time they try and fix something, it brings another issue in. What you could do, on the upside of it, is make light of the whole situation. And for the month of May, make a bugged event, and the whole month of May can be focused around bug-type Pokemon. And I think a lot of people would find that actually quite funny. For example, add Genesect as the tier 5 boss. Either make it like the shiny burn drive, because we didn't get that back months ago, or add all forms of Genesect in, just mishmash it for a month. Release a new Mega Pokemon, either Mega Scizor or Mega Pinsir. Why not? It would be actually quite amusing. Release Shiny Venipede for the month. It seems very, very simple. You could add a new Pokemon, Volcarona, whatever it's called. That would be fun. Add Missing No, for God's sake. Something that's, it's the glitched Pokemon itself. Throw that in on like the snapshots or something. I don't know. It'd just be entertaining. And obviously increase the bug type spawns for the month. Just say, yeah, this is a bug type event for the month while we fix all the bugs in the game. I think it's a good correlation, to be honest. If you need to take the game offline, freaking do it. Don't be afraid to do it, because servers and games do go down for maintenance and their players are thankful because they actually fix stuff rather than have. I think Pokemon Go has only been offline when they did a server migration for about 4 hours. That's in nearly 5 years of the game, it's been offline for 4 hours. The game itself now is vastly worse in terms of glitches and bugs than it's ever been, really. Obviously 2016 you had the scenario where like it just wouldn't load from the servers, but they were a very small company being overwhelmed by a vast number of players. Now that's not necessarily the case. It's just that whoever codes or whoever tests the updates and the systems before they go out is a complete moron. Because it's just unbelievable how you add this number of bugs into the game. The responses and the communication from Niantic themselves is appalling. It's absolutely shocking. Yeah, I don't think as players we should have to stand for it. That's kind of mad. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I've been sort of ranting a little bit, but I just wanted to put this video out there because it's kind of mind-blowing, to be honest. Kind of mind-blowing, the state of the game at the moment, because they're throwing a load of content at us and not actually fixing what is necessary. Anyway, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please do make sure to subscribe if you are new with the notifications on so you don't miss an upload or a live stream, and of course smash the like button if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings about the whole thing. Well, is there a bug that you've experienced that I've not made mention of? Or, you know, are you really infuriated with Team Rocket? I feel like everybody's really pissed off that Team Rocket isn't in the game. Would you be down for the game being offline for a couple of days because they would actually fix things? Or do you think that's ridiculous and Niantic would shut the game down, come back, it would be even more broken, like we couldn't log in? Anyway, I will see you all in the next video, ladies and gentlemen. Do take care.